The next thing we're going to do is brew some kombucha tea. And this big jar has been in the fridge waiting for its next brew job to get in there. Let me pour the liquid off of it. Then this is the SCOBY I'm going to dump out on this plate.
Looks like a mushroom.
It's probably a similar kind of effect. It's so this one has made a baby. So we have 2 SCOBY. Somebody can have a SCOBY too. So we're just going to let those sit there for right now. Because we're not quite ready for those.
What is it made of? Is that the growth?
That's the growth, yeah. It's like organisms, it's living organisms, and they reproduce by making a baby. But you can, if you look at what's in this bowl, there's some little, things starting to form another mass. So they will even keep reproducing in the fridge if you leave it in there long enough. But I just heated this water to boiling. There's 2 quarts in here. Your recipe's in the back of your manual. Hi.
Good evening.
So I heated up 2 quarts of water. And then you put in just half a cup of sugar or honey it says. So this is the organic sugar. So we'll put in half a cup. And kombucha is almost easier to make than kefir, and neither one of them is hard really. So you just stir it up until the granules melt, the sugar granules.
Are you boiling it just to kill the stuff in the water, like the chlorine and stuff, or are you boiling it because it needs to be?
To make tea.
Okay.
We're going to make tea.
Right.
Yeah. And yes, I use purified water for this because, again, this is the living organisms we're working with. Although it's true when you boil water, it may take the chlorine out, but I always use purified. And then it says to use 2 to 3 tea bags. So we'll use 3. And what kind of tea is it? It's black tea. You use black tea. You're not supposed to use herbal teas. You're supposed to use black teas from the instructions I've received. Now we let these steep. We're supposed to let these steep for just 12 minutes and then take the tea bags out and then let this cool for 2 hours. So I don't know what we're going to do about letting this steep for 12 minutes, but then at our break later we can come down and put this tea, sugar tea, in the jar and put the SCOBY in, and then you put it in a dark place, a dark warm place for 5 to 10 days. I prefer the 5 days because it doesn't get quite so strong. Then your tea's ready. So easy sneezy, huh? Alrighty. Now the other thing that increases enzymes in our system is to make cultured food. And this is the kombucha that we made the other night. So it's time to harvest it. We just put a paper towel over the top so we don't kill those living organisms in there by not having enough oxygen. I can't pour this out into a smaller jar without spilling it, so I just pour it into a big bowl like this. Now, I'm going to see if I can fish this SCOBY out. This is called the SCOBY. It's actually a living, reproducing organism. I'm going to, I can do this. I can see that there are two starting to form here. We see if we can get them apart. Come on. So, there's one. That's a new one. It's kind of a baby. It's thin, but it will do fine to make a new batch. And then this is the mother SCOBY. It's the thicker one. So we can share. I have 2 SCOBYs now to share. And so one of these I'll just, even if it's just a partially formed disc, that's enough. You just need, sometimes if you keep this, if you leave this out long enough, it will actually form a new SCOBY as long as you fermented the kombucha. So to save that, you're supposed to leave about a half a cup of, I'm going to add a little bit more back. Supposed to leave about half a cup or so with it. And then I just put this back on and put it in the fridge unless I'm going to do the hot water and tea and sugar and start a new batch. I usually put a date on it, so I remember when I when I put it in the fridge. This was the one we started on the 8th. Okay, so now I'm going to move this little new baby over here, and I can show you there's, I don't know if you can see this, but floating, I don't think I can catch it. Floating around here is a little strand of gooey stuff. This is a new one that's forming. If you let it go long enough, it will, I'll put that over there because it's not fun to drink. But so I'm going to just pour it into this pitcher, and then anybody who wants to try it can. And I can see some effervescence in this, so that's good. It does tend to get some effervescence. Now, some people like to add a little fruit juice to it. I think it needs to be fresh squeezed fruit juice. And then put it in a dark cupboard and let it ferment a couple more days. But I like it just like this after 5 days of fermentation. I like it the best this way. So, that's how you make kombucha. It's really easy.